Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video we are going to debug the Framingham risk calculator. If we can look through the program, there doesn't seem to be any logical errors, but that doesn't mean that it runs the way you want it to run. I separated it out right here, and here, okay? When I look through here, if we first look at the logic itself, it says type in M or F. If you type in M, the gender is male. Anything else equals female, right? Now, right immediately, you're going to say, wait a minute. So if you type in capital M, it's going to be female. M-A-L-E is going to be female. Anything else you type in is going to be female, but M is male. By itself, that is really bad, right? What if the user typed in, what's next to the keyboard, an N or a comma instead? Then they're going to be female, right? That's the worst thing that you can do. So the worst thing a program can do is give the user bad information. So for example, if a person starts putting their information in and their true risk of having a heart attack or stroke in the next 10 years is 1%, and the program spits out 50%, that's bad, right? Because the user assumes that the computer is making the correct calculations when it's not. The user doesn't see that there is a problem here, but there really is. That's the worst thing a program can do. Look like it's telling you the right information, but it really isn't. So how are we going to fix that? Well, I used this one-line if-else statement just out of ease. Okay, let's not do this. Instead, let's delete that. Let's declare bool gender right here, okay? And let's say if gender string equals M, gender equals true. And why did I put this gender outside of here? That's right, lexical scope, right? So if you declared and initialized the variable right here, as soon as you leave the brackets, it gets deleted. Just remember that, okay? If I'm beating a dead horse, I'm really sorry. Else if gender string equals female F, gender equals false. Else print you need to type in M or F. Okay, so in this way, it's either going to be M or F, or it's not going to do anything. So let's run that. Let's see what happens. Let's say the. But wait a minute, you need to type M or F, but it keeps going through. Well, let's see what takes us. Yes, yes, 159, 150, 50, 50. And now it's going to give us it's going to break at the very end. Why is that? Well, if you look at the code itself, bool gender, this is value null. So you're actually sending into this one's class a value of null right inside of here. And sticking null into this equation is actually for female is actually just not working, okay? Unfortunately. Because this gender, if gender is true, this is null. So it can't give us any value itself. So what do? Well, what we would preferably do is send the loop back and make the user type it in again. How do we do that? It's a conditional, right? So it's going to say, if you typed in the right information, great. If you did not, start over. So we're going to say while true. When you think about that, while true, that's the condition. If it's true all the time, it's going to loop around forever, right? So we need to put a break inside of here somewhere. Where do we put it? If gender string equals M, gender equals true, we can put a break there because we're done, right? Move on. Same thing with the F. But if it's here, you need to type M or F. You want that to loop back around and give the person a second chance, right? So let's give that a try. What is your gender? 55. Hi. Something. So it'll keep asking you over and over until you get it right. Once you type an M or an F, then it'll go on. So that's one solution, and you could do as much as you want. If this, else if this, else if something else, if this equals this, or gender string equals male, and you could go on and on depending on what you actually want to do. Okay? Sometimes if you want to make it easier on you, just limit the choices, okay? The same concept applies to all of these, so I'm not going to go over it again, but the same concept here, okay? This concept is different. What we're trying to do is string cholesterol string. The person types in and it is a string, and you want to convert it into an integer. Now, what if they type in hi? All right, so you cannot convert the letters H and I into a number. So it's going to give you an error, right? What kind of error? It's called a format error. So let's just try that. Okay, notice I'm typing M and it keeps going because it's going to be false every time I do type something other than Y, right? So cholesterol, what if I type hi? It's going to break on format exception. So second worst bug you can have in a program is it crashes the program. So we don't want to do that itself. How do we do this? We do something called a try. So let's say right here, we're going to say try. We're going to try, actually, we don't need it there. We need it down here. Try this right here. What we're saying is this is a little bit dangerous right here. We're going to try to use something like this and see if it actually works. Okay, but you don't want to declare the variables within brackets. Actually, I'm going to put this a little higher. Okay, and I'm getting something, try statement. Oh, okay. So there must be a second clause here. So we're going to try this and see. What I can imagine is on format exception. Well, actually, it's format error. No, it's exception. On format exception, print you need to type in an integer number. So if somebody's being a wise guy and you say, what's your cholesterol? It's 150.3, even though you know there's no such thing. You'll say you need to type an integer number. So what we'll say is that try this. I know as a programmer that is dangerous. If you get this error on format exception, don't just crash the program like you did before, okay? Instead, print this and understand that this could be an error in the program. So let's try this. Yes, no, cholesterol, hi. You need to type in an integer number, but it will continue the program. You keep going around though, it's going to crash it down the line, right? Because we still don't have a value for the integer cholesterol. It's still value null. Again, how do we do that? How do we solve that problem? Again, it's conditional, so we're going to have to do a while again. While true. Here though, where are we going to put the break statement? We don't want to put it here, okay, because you can't put it in the try because that's just being tried. On format exception, you don't want to loop back over again. So what do? Typically, you put an if statement. If cholesterol is int, break. How about that? Okay, so if cholesterol is an integer, if it's null, no, don't break. If it's has a format exception, it's going to probably be null. But if it's an integer, then break the loop and keep going on. Let's see if that works. You need to type an integer. You need to type an integer. So you need to type an integer. How about a double? You need to type an integer. It won't go on until you finally type an integer there. Okay? So and we can do that for all of these as well. Write the same thing over for all of these. And therefore, it'll fix most of the bugs. But features. One other feature. Once you're done with this, let's just run this program one last time. Are you male or female? Yes. Diabetes, yes. Smoking, yes. Cholesterol, 150. Blood pressure, 150. Age, 50. HDL, 50. 10-year risk is 32.8. Wouldn't it be nice? What if you have like 10 people in line wanting to say, hey, I want my risk calculation, okay? Wouldn't it be neat to go through this over again and loop and ask it all over again? What will we have to do? Put the whole thing in a while statement. Let's do that all over again, okay? And go all the way down, and that would be there as well. All right? So it'll just keep looping around over and over again. But you want to be able to break it sometime. So at the very end, we'll say print do you want to try again? I'll just put why. Why? I'm not sure how I want to do this actually. That implies something different. Hang on a second. So actually string repeat equals din. If repeat equals y, break. Actually, if it does not equal y. Okay, so I was wondering, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put yes or no. Yes, I wasn't sure. You could change this in the future, but I'll say if you put anything, wait a minute. Oh, if you put y, you will repeat. Anything other than y, you will break it and you're finished with the program. Okay, I'm going to format one more time. I think it's correct. So let's run this one final time. Cholesterol 150, 150, age is 50, HDL 50. Risk is 32.8%. Do you want to try again? Yes, I do. And it'll ask you all over again. This time female. No, no, no. Cholesterol 200, blood pressure 200, age 50, HDL 50. Risk is 15.4%. Do you want to try again? No. And they're all set, okay? Although afterwards, if it says here, if is not equals to that, say print okay. Thanks for participating. Let's try that. Okay, so it'll end. Okay, thanks for participating. It breaks. End of program. Okay, so I think we've learned a lot. I think we've come a long way. we learned the while statement a while ago, but now we're learning how to repeat some of these inputs that we learned just not too long ago also. And we learned how to, the logic itself, how to make the logic so that we don't crash the program and we don't make problems and flaws because we make assumptions about the user, like up here. Make assumptions about the user, like, for example, if they typed in the wrong number or the wrong letter. We don't want the program to go on. We want to stop them right then and there. Okay? So I hope this was a good exercise for you to really go over. Question I would ask you is, what are you interested in? What is your field of interest? Think about calculations. I'm a physician by trade, so my interest would be medical calculations. If you have other calculations that you want to do, try to make programs like this and improve them. Make them better and better, and think, as a user, what would I prefer? Maybe not just a Y, maybe yes, maybe capital Y, and have all sorts of different ideas. And that's the best way to practice as much as possible to really learn and be proficient at programming. Thanks.